All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We got the OverMark podcast here. We're back, I'm pretty sure. We took a little, probably about like a month break. You know, this whole podcasting thing and working full time's pretty tough. Well, I wouldn't say tough, but it takes an adjustment. But we're here. We're back at it. We're ready to roll, and we're looking forward to breaking down a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of wrestling news, and maybe we're gonna have some other kind of topics we're gonna be talking about on top of that. But starting off, I'm one half of the co-host here. My name's TJ, and we got my buddy Dave here, who's also one of the half of the co-host. What's up, Dave?
Yo, what's up, TJ? It's nice to be back doing the thing. We needed to recharge our batteries a little bit over the November season. I had my birthday. We had
Same here.
Thanksgiving, of course. TJ had his birthday.
Yep.
We couple of birthday boys. Once more around the sun, as they say.
Yeah, I think they do say that sometimes, right?
Yeah, and if they don't, somebody does somewhere. Yeah. Oh, Mastodon has an album called Once More Around the Sun. Other people say it. Sports Illustrated says it. Okay, they don't
Have
say
they
it.
said that?
No, but that's for Beatus if he's listening. He'll appreciate that.
All right, yeah. But anyways, speaking of Beatus, one of our buddies, we got a guy called Fresh Money 6597. And he actually brought
Yo.
up on our the last video that we did a comment a couple days ago earlier in the week saying like, "Oh, you guys quit," and blah, urging us to stick around. And it's like, don't worry, you're not gonna get rid of us that easy. We just decided. I think we went at it pretty hard for like 7 months. We just, like I said, just take a little bit of a break. I think that's good for everybody to do once in a while.
Yep. Got to take a vacation from your job or things in life from time to time. And we're back, and it's exciting. And oh
Oh,
shit, he's out of here. No.
well, we're gonna be talking about a little bit of this week in wrestling at first. We're gonna talk about. We're not gonna review the shows, but we're gonna talk about some stuff that stuck out to us. And I guess starting the week off, we're gonna talk about Raw, right?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. Some things happened and some stuff occurred.
This is probably an above average Raw, I'd say. This is probably one of the best ones they've done all year. Liv Morgan return. Um, what else did they have? Um, I'm drawing a
Oh
blank.
yeah, the pay-per-view had happened prior to Raw. That's right. The pay-per-view was all right. They had the two War Games matches, the gals and the men, and then Dom beat Cena for the IC title in a way that made sense to circle back to your Liv coming back type of deal.
Yeah, that does
The
tie in.
it was a decent PLE, not the best one I've ever seen, but safe War Games matches.
The ladies
I don't
stunk.
want to throw.
That was a terrible
Well,
match.
yeah, EO did well. There was some bright spots in it, but yeah, overall it was kind of is bland.
See
I,
the
I don't
spot
want to shit on it too much.
where they were like standing on some of the women's face and like mashing them up against the corner of the cage, and they
Yeah,
would like
Mikey
like
throw it.
it was really bad. Like you can have your face pressed into that cage and it's not gonna hurt.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
it was just a little exaggerated, we'll say.
the men's war game one, I did enjoy the men's. Oh, I'm sorry.
It definitely had some cool stuff in it. I don't know what I was expecting based on all of the star power that was in the match, but it was good enough. It was good enough.
It didn't really make too much sense not to have the top on the cage because then you have situations where some guy in a mask wearing all black runs into the cage. It seemed
Yeah, I guess.
a cheap
Go
out.
ahead. Yeah, I guess they're all saying that for now it's what that Austin Theory fella allegedly.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
There's never been a time that I've cared about that guy. Maybe this will change that. Who knows? I do dig what they're doing with this group, but I don't know about him. But maybe it'll be somebody else, and they used whoever they used under the mask, and then
Let's get a young guy.
some other yeah.
NXT. Nobody that's been on the main
People
roster before.
people keep saying it's Jericho, and it's not Jericho.
It's not.
It-
Impossible.
no,
Impossible. Unless they have Jericho come out and say it was him, but the guy that was under that mask wasn't Chris Jericho. For a
right?
fact.
They could maybe storyline say it
Yeah.
later, but yeah, for sure, the guy that did it was not him.
So,
Yep.
one thing though is like what I was mentioning before about the young guy from NXT, whoever that may be. Um, Paul has one more chance, I feel like, before he retires to get a really young guy and kind of mold him. And I feel like the timing's better now than ever. So hopefully that's the way that they go. Anybody who works with Paul seems to get preferential treatment and is under the learning tree, so to speak. But
Oh no.
yeah, that leads us into Monday because he was Triple H was talking about like a really epic Raw, action packed and all that, and I don't think like don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed this Raw. I wouldn't say it was epic, compared to maybe some stuff that we used to see back in the day, but we still don't know who the guy behind the mask is actually. That was never answered.
Was it weird that all of the guys that got fucked over that at least were on the show weren't concerned with trying to figure out who it was that fucked them over, and that they're having a referee look into what happened?
That is kind of
I mean, I
strange.
I love Eddie Oregano, and it's rad that he's getting featured more, but it just seems odd. Yeah. But cool for you, Eddie. I'm glad you're getting more TV time.
Yeah, they really need to maybe start pushing him. Like maybe he's going to be the next general manager or one of the brands. That would I think really bring business to kind of that next level for him.
Maybe he's the guy under the mask.
That would be the take of all takes. They need to hire you. That is the best thing that they've ever come up with. They're never going to find out it's Eddie because he's the guy leading the whole deal. He eventually it's going to be it's me, whoever the fuck you are. It's me
Yeah.
all along.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. So the live thing came. They ended up like the Judgment Day were in the ring together. They were kind of partying a little bit, celebrating. Um, and not too much to say there. You've seen this 1,000 times, right? Um,
Yeah.
the main thing about Raw, and I'll let you take it. What stuck out to you the most on Raw?
The main event was good. The gals put on a solid match, and then obviously there was the Judgment Day interference at the end there,
What stuck
and
out
you
to you the
saw.
most on Raw, though, out of anything else?
Oh, well, of course, the Bron Breakker promo. We couldn't not talk about that, but I mean, it was awesome. It
Yeah,
was the best promo he's ever cut. If you've watched him in NXT at all, you knew that he could cut a promo, but he wasn't doing anything that was that good. I mean, not that the stuff he did there was bad, but just you knew he could cut a promo. You just didn't know what the depth of his promo ability was, and he showed it here, and it was incredible. And when he spiked the mic at the end there, and it bounced off the ring and landed right in Logan Paul's hand, couldn't plan that. That was awesome.
yeah. It was an awesome promo. He's still green, but from to go to what he was doing before to that shows that he's listening, and they weren't letting him go out there and put himself in a bad position to overexpose himself. So they're taking care of him. They're letting him grow, and it's obvious that working with Paul and Punk is gonna have his microphone skills and just the way that he carries himself to the next level. Um, I mean, even somebody like Brock, he's got a really good set of people around him that are going to take care of him.
Yep. It's the future is bright, and we're very fortunate. Um, I was telling Brandon and Beatus the other day because we watched it at the same time, and they were blown away by it. And I was like, what you guys just saw there is him taking the step towards that next level of being a main event guy or being perceived as a main event guy. Like this is kind of the turning point there, because they're newer wrestling fans, so just like I wanted them to be able to understand the quote unquote significance of where we're at in the period of his career. This is kind of like a turning point, which is cool. And yeah, they totally got it.
Yeah, I mean they've been watching. They're not dumb guys, and they've been hearing
Yeah.
us talk for years about this shit. So you think that they would be able to? I mean, they are. They're picking up what you would expect. But yeah, in the women's main event, I thought was really great. Um, No need to elaborate on it too much. The right chicks won,
Nope.
and I'm sure that Alexa and Charlotte will end up challenging them down the road more.
It looks like Liv is going to try to take on Stephanie Fakir next. That's why she handed the belt back to Roxanne there after the little beatdown, and then obviously she had the little backstage thing earlier with Stephanie. That'll be cool. Uh, I hope they don't take the belt off Stephanie and she gets to keep it here for a while now. But we'll see. People like Liv and they buy her shit and she moves the needle. So yeah, who knows?
I don't know. They
People like Stephanie.
Yeah, they're Stephanie would do good to be in a program with her. She will make her better in pretty much every way, I believe. But
Yep.
I don't really have too much more to add about Raw. At least anything that I remember.
Nope. That was keep doing what you're doing type of episode. I didn't hate it and I wasn't disappointed by it.
Hopefully, we can get more of that leading into WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, all that, and we'll have a great road to
Yeah.
WrestleMania. We'll see.
Oh, we would be remiss if we didn't bring up the Gunther is going to be John Cena's final opponent.
Well, I mean, that's something that we reported on, I think, as late as like 4 months ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Not
But they were
reported
just
on.
circling back. We had covered
I don't want to be.
the speculation.
I don't want to be an asshole here. It's something that, yeah, you nailed it. It's something that we had talked about. We try to latch on to stuff that we seem like is real and not the fake stories. I feel like we're pretty good at that. And one of the stories that we had latched onto back in the day was about 4 months ago was that Gunther was going to be seen as last opponent, and it's going to happen. It's not going to be LA Knight. LA Knight's the perfect
No.
guy to go against in the finals.
It would be so awesome if somehow it was LA Knight. I feel like it galvanizes Gunther as a legitimate badass main event heel guy even further if he's seen his final opponent and beats him.
I'm attacking the mic here, but yeah.
I get it.
I mean, it's realistically though, it's got to be they're not going to have a face dynamic. It's going to be face heel, unless LA Knight went heel to beat Cena, which will be fucking massive. But that's not what they're going to do.
No.
So
maybe they should hire you. Circling back to telling people who should get hired around here. Jeez, I like that.
Yeah, that would be. He's like, is LA Knight the guy who retired Cena? Yeah. He's like, am I your new
That would
hero?
get over though.
Yeah, he's like, am I your new hero in this trash town? No.
Oh shit.
That'd be funny, but yeah, overall great episode. Hopefully we get more of those soon because it's been a pretty shitty Raw for a year for Raw in general and wrestling as a whole, in my opinion. Are you ready to move on to talk about some Dynamite?
Yeah, we had a good first few months of it, but yeah, it did
You're right.
go down the shitter.
It was good the first few months.
Man, it was hard to pay attention to Dynamite. I didn't really watch very much of it this week, to be honest with you. Like I had it on and I was trying, and then I ended up falling asleep, and I didn't go back and watch it. It was just
the opener was good.
I don't know. Yeah, I missed that. Oh, the promo. No,
Eddie
I
Kingston
did see
and Joe.
that.
I mean, why wouldn't that be good?
Yeah,
Joe's the man in that role.
I enjoyed that thoroughly. That was the only part of the show that I actually do remember. That and Moxley bleeding at some point.
Joe was so good at heel mic work, man. It's about the only thing I have to say about that. I forget a lot of the matches that were on this card.
Why would you remember them?
Yeah,
it's almost always forgettable.
Yeah. I know Claudio and Moxley ended up going against each other. I actually ended up turning it off before that happened in the main event because I already knew Claudio was going to win. This is one of the long-term stories they have going on in the show where Moxley's been losing a lot, so it makes sense that's going to happen, and I applaud them for doing that. But it's like, why would I care about one of the worst fucking factions in wrestling right now doing anything?
The guys we've been sick of the whole time. Yeah, for like 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, you could just end up going away, and I think I'd do for good for that. But they had Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa end up beating the Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron, and Willow Nightingale. That was a pretty decent match. I think that stuck out to me. Maybe they had something happen with the Bucks. I don't know. Overall, I mean, I can't fairly give a good fucking rating for this because it's just kind of set to the point now to where it's like it's hard to pay attention to this show. I drift off. I want to do other shit while it's on. Overall, they have great matches, but it's a terrible TV show.
That's a fairly accurate description of Dynamite, and it's unfortunate. Let's go back to 2019 Dynamite, 2020. I know we keep saying that, but geez.
Yeah, well, I think one thing that we can keep saying more of is actually, I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. How was this month for you, Dave? Let's bullshit for a little bit. How
Okay.
did November treat you? Because I have a feeling
Well,
we worked a lot.
yep, you would be right. There was a lot of work that happened. Um, Getting to be the busier time of the year, especially down here in Florida. You know, we've got all the folks coming on down from up north like they do, and clogging up the roads, making it take longer to get places, having car accidents, things of that nature. You know, the good stuff. No offense to any of our friends from up north there. It's just a lot of you do come down here and do that stuff. You can't deny that that's not true. I'm sure that plenty of people from Florida come to where you live and act stupid too. So it just call it a wash, I guess. I don't know.
So,
Yeah. How about you?
well, before we jump into that, um, you notice two things that are different in both of our setups here that we both got new of?
What's that?
Well, you got a new chair. I think I did too. Yep, there's a secret lab. I cheaped out. I just got a razor, but it's a pretty big step up from what I had before.
He has a secret lab downstairs though as his main chair, so still got the secret lab. But yeah, I'm really happy with this actually. Shout out to Secret Lab. It got to me fast. I think I ordered it and it was to my house 2 days later. And putting it together was really simple. And it's very comfortable. Titan XL. People were saying that they found it hard. And it is a little stiff. And it's not like a intolerable, you know. Plus, it's in the break-in period. I think I've had it about 2 weeks. I don't know. As soon as they started their Black November, because Black Friday type of sale thing, I just got it. I found a additional coupon to save an extra $30, so that was cool. Can't complain there. Hopefully, this will be a chair that I use for like the next, long time. And hell yeah.
Well,
And how about your chair? Did it go together well? Any
this
hiccups?
it was easy. I forgot to put the sleeve on for when you go up and down on the pole. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
the little like thing that goes in itself, little cup. But besides that,
yeah.
it's pretty good. It feels comfortable. It's not the chair downstairs, but I knew it wasn't going to be, and that's okay. This was like $250, so it's about 500 or like 250 off compared to what I would have spent if I would have gotten your chair, or maybe a
Right.
little
Yeah.
bit more. But
Yeah, it ended up being like five something, which is expensive for a chair, and I cringe at saying that I spent that much money for a chair, but it's got a 5-year warranty.
let me
So,
speak on that. So this could be like we could get sponsored here. Maybe they end up having me sitting in one of these here soon, up here. But yeah. So their warranty's great to deal with. They don't ask any questions. You send it to them, and they send you the part that you need. Um, it's got a lifetime warranty on the frame and stuff, but it's got the 5 year on like the cushions and or like anything that's not the frame, essentially. But yeah,
your armrests, which are magnet, by the way, you just literally slaps right on there.
but yeah, no questions
Boom.
asked. You send them pictures of the damage, they will just send you something right in the mail, and you're taken care of. Um, it's we sit on these things so much that we're power users. So I complain about maybe, some stuff that I've kind of fucked up on my chair over the years, mainly armrests, like kind of warping a little bit. But I mean, I do use it a lot. So, I mean, who am I to say that there's no brand out there that may not do that?
Yeah.
Overall, I'm pretty happy with mine too. I'm still down there sitting on it, and the one thing I will give it is that I think I've had it for about 4 years now, 3 to 4, and the stitching isn't ripping or anything on it, which is good. A lot of the other brands that I've had, I sat on it so much that it's ripped, but that isn't the case here, and yeah, pretty happy with it. We'll see how happy I am with this thing right here, but I sit on it, I can lean back, and if I want, I can pull this to my face here and just kind of relax, So It's
And that was a razor chair, you said?
yeah, you can see the thing here.
Well, oh yeah, well those are nice chairs. Yeah, I mean that's a nice chair. It's a different tier of chair in terms
Yeah,
of price and stuff like that. So you can't really compare the two. But we wouldn't hate a Razer sponsorship either. They make quality stuff. Yeah, nice chair there.
got a
Nice
mouse pad
mouse
of
that
them
you
here.
use.
My mouse
Yep,
actually,
actually,
that's downstairs. The one I'm using right here is MSI, but I wouldn't be opposed to free shit.
I I had ordered a new desk because the current one is grinding into my legs because of how low this thing sits, and I needed a new mouse pad to fit my new keyboard tray. And speaking of Razer, this is the mouse pad that I ordered. It was a nice, like 10.83 inches by 14, so it's a nice big size, but not too big, because the depth of the tray is 11 inches. So that was like the requirement I had. It was $9 on Amazon, so
Mine's
I'm
really
pretty
dirty,
happy with it.
so it'll look
Yeah,
dirty to you. But look here, there's
I
there's
can't see
mine.
you right now.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh, there
right.
it is.
I don't know.
We'll pretend I can. I
Yeah,
see it.
you'll see it later. How about that? The people
You
saw it.
Hell yeah, yeah. When I watch it, I got right now on my keyboard tray, because my current keyboard tray is almost the width of my desk. I have the Logitech whatever G840 XL or what, at least the biggest mouse pad that they make,
Yeah,
and this accommodates that. But obviously the next one's not that big. Even though my desk is going to be much larger, it's a 71 inch. I'm going to have the big daddy one, and it's going to make doing things a little bit easier. Nice big old workspace to do things. I'll be able to do other forms of content potentially
yeah.
just because of having the bigger workspace. I'll be able to, maybe some guitar based stuff at some point. Who knows? Probably not. I kind of suck at guitar, but who knows? Anything that's interesting, just different
I
space. I'm limited currently.
I was considering getting like a capture card and then trying to like do like capture like my because I got all that old gaming hardware, capture some of that and all that at some point, and maybe doing some videos on that. But we'll see.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, we'll see. It's funny. I actually got this extra TV since I got a new monitor or whatever. This thing's fucking nice, by the way, man. Like, I don't. I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's a fucking expensive, nice ass monitor, but it's just pretty.
Right.
It's just pretty cool. I'm looking at you here. I got OBS or whatever right here, and I got the other thing just right here, and it's all just off one thing. No divide like you would have with two monitors. It's to work out pretty well. Me and Dave sitting here
Oh
talking
yeah.
about our new shit.
Yeah, life's good. Probably by our next episode, assuming nothing goes wrong with the assembly of my desk or the top of it here isn't completely fucked. Um, Man, the box showed up really not great. UPS. I just want to say that. And when the driver gave the box to my roommate, he even said that he noted how damaged the box was in case there was a potential issue with needing to send it on back because it's fucked up.
Yeah,
So good on that driver though. Obviously, it wasn't his fault. He it gets to him and gets loaded on his truck, and
yeah.
he's got to bring it. It. So he did his part. So if that guy's out there, appreciate you, bud. And whoever got the box all wet and had to retape it on three sides, go fuck yourself with a iron rod or something. That's just
We hate you.
stupid. Yeah.
Don't want you around here
Um,
no more. But
that's not great.
but
Let's talk about some other stuff though. That that's
I did
negative.
have I did have one other thing I think I wanted to talk about. What was it? Oh yeah, I got this. I told you about this downstairs, but I got this. This is the keyboard. I wanted something small, take up a small amount of desk space. I'm not doing anything crazy on it, and this would take care of anything I needed to do anyways. But this is made out of aluminum, super heavy duty. You could kill somebody with it if you needed to. It's that
Oh,
hard.
wow.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Like, this thing could stand the test of time. I take one of these and just toss it in my backpack when I go to Maryland because I take the little mini PC and stream the pay-per-view off of it. This is the keyboard I use, and like you're traveling with something, no container or anything. You just letting it free in the backpack. None of the keys come off, even though they could if you wanted it to. But that's just telling you how solid, well manufactured this thing is. And I got this thing like over $100 off. So fucking
That's a Corsair, right?
yes, it is. And
I'll have to have you send me a link to that at some point. But yeah, I mean that's super nice keyboard.
yeah, and then it's also like RGB and all that. So you press something and it does all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I have one downstairs already, so I knew I was gonna like it. I use it for the mini PC, like I said, down there, and got one up here. Just enjoying the setup. Like I know you're enjoying your new stuff, and you're going to even more when you get your desk set up. But like I said, there's more potential up here. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with this TV yet, but there may be a little station that I'm going to put in here where I could put like a retro console, hook it up, and that'll be maybe what I'm working with at that time for whatever I might be doing with some other form of content. But maybe that's something to talk about later. But I do know something that we have to talk about right now. And this is something that you were really excited about. Me and you are big Bret Hart fans. You can actually see in this video now Bret Hart's signature. You can actually see it. Like, I don't know if you can make it out, but I can see it perfectly fine and staying right underneath it. But we're talking about Bret Hart, and he was saying that Shawn Michaels and Vince were in a relationship together. And, a relationship of physical homosexuality, having sex with each other, essentially. And, I want to ask you a couple questions about this, Dave. What did you think when you heard this?
Well,
let me tell you something.
Oh,
no,
did you believe it?
I could believe it. I don't know. I could believe anything could happen in a wrestling locker room and that Vince McMahon could be capable of anything. I don't know that it happened. It seems a tad far-fetched for me. I don't want to besmirch or discredit my beloved Bret Hart. Love the shit out of Bret. So I'll just take this for what it is. It's a Bret Hart saying something. It's his opinion. And, I kind of feel like I saw a comment in one of the videos when I watched the video of it. And it said that Bret Hart's rationale for him picking Shawn for the belt over him was that he was gay for Shawn Michaels. And I thought that was a funny comment.
Well, here's something that I was kind of wondering. You think Vince McMahon has had sex with men?
Well, some of the things that he stands accused of currently might indicate that, there may have been some things of that nature at some point. And, whatever, it's nobody's business who anybody's doing things with behind closed doors, unless it's like some things that you can get in trouble for. So, but
here's a 100%er for you that I think you're going to say yes to. Has he ever done a tip to tip or touched when in company of others?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure they crossed swords at some point.
Had to have happened, 100%. There's no way it hasn't, right?
Yep.
So that being said, at least I feel like let's just say they weren't in a relationship. Maybe he was like, you're going to do this to me, pal. But I'll give him this. I've heard people say that the Vince that exists now wasn't the guy that they worked for back then.
Yeah.
But
Nash shut this shit down. He was with Shawn so much back then.
he was gay with Vince too. That's why he shut it down.
No.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. He's.
That's why Hall left as soon as he could. Vince was trying to get gay with him, and he was like, "I'm out of here, man. I'm going to WCW for less dates and guaranteed money.
Yeah, and no sex with the boss.
Eric Bischoff is not going to ask me to try to suck his dick or fuck me up the butt, man."
Yeah. Oh my God, that's terrible. I wonder if this was the case and this happened, that meant that Vince was this way the whole time, and he was just way better at hiding it back in the day. But at some
That would
point,
be really heartbreaking. Yeah, the more money that he got, the more brazen he became. He's like, I'm super fucking rich. Who cares?
I think the thing that fucked him's the texting. If texting existed
Yep.
back in the day, I think he would have probably already been fucked if he was already doing that.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was accused of the things with the lady referee and covering up the ring boys. Who knows what actually happened? We've all seen the dark sides of the rings and the different documentaries about all of the thing. Well, maybe we haven't all seen them, but yeah, there's a lot of documentaries and things out there covering that kind of stuff. You give them a watch.
Yeah. So enough about the gay men and Vince.
Well, can there ever really be enough about gay men and Vince?
Nah.
But yeah, well, we can move on here. And
one thing, it would make sense. The big muscular guys, how he likes them. A lot of stuff's lining up.
Really, really into bodybuilding and physiques. And there was a interview with Lana, CJ Perry recently, where she talked about learning a kissing scene and John Laurinaitis and Vince McMahon getting really close. And I think that she said that they kissed. I'd have to re-listen to it, but I'm pretty sure that she said that they kissed to kind of demonstrate what they were looking for in terms of like closeness and things in the in the scene that they were doing. And she said that she giggled when they did it. And Vince McMahon yelled at her and said, "Don't do that. We're professionals. We're showing you how to do this and this is how you're going to do it, and that's it."
Huh.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Looks like he was looking for an excuse to kiss Johnny Ace in front of people and not get gayed out about it.
Yeah. Then don't laugh. But
yeah, don't laugh. This is acting. We're just.
I bet you they've done a lot of acting. You remember how Randy and Leahy, when they got caught, they were always practicing for a play at the Blandford Recreational Center?
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. I think we got a little lighter note to talk about here, if that's something you'd be interested in.
We might.
But yeah, TNA's new TV deal for Thursday starting on AMC January 15th in 2026. You want to talk about that a little bit, Dave?
Yeah, this is really cool, and I think that this is a next step evolution for TNA, and AMC is a pretty big deal. They've brought a lot of major iconic television shows: Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, Mad Men. There are more. My brain doesn't work, but I mean, those are three of the biggest shows of all time, and they all came from that network. Most people will put them in their top 3, top 5, top 10. I don't know where they rank in mine. This isn't for that show, but basically what I'm saying is this is a big deal for TNA. Huge. It's exciting time for wrestling. There's going to be a lot of moving parts over the next year, probably, or maybe sooner, based on what we'll talk about here in a little bit.
So what's their president? Is it Scott D'Amore, or am I mixing that up with the old creative guy?
That gentleman is no longer with them. He's running his own promotion up in Canada.
That's right.
The name is escaping me right now, but I wish Scott all the success in the world. He's a great dude, great creative, did the best job that he could at TNA.
When this came out,
did a really good job.
Did you see how people were saying that, now WWE's not going to be a part of TNA, and that they're kind of like severing ties? And then the guy that's like running stuff over there was like, nah, they're still going to be a big part of this. That's part of the reason why we were able to get this deal. So even take away the channel exposure, $30 million, they're finally making a little bit of money, you know what I mean? And I know for a fact that they're not tossing the kind of contracts out that Tony Khan is. Not that we've seen those numbers, but it's pretty safe to say that like he's paying a lot of money to some of these guys, and they're not going to need to do that. They're going to get people nice, stable jobs in a learning environment, and there's a world if they're able to make good wrestling television, they could definitely do pretty well in the ratings. Thursday, there's nothing on that night.
Nope. I mean, SmackDown used to be on Thursday when it first started when we were young. There hasn't been wrestling on Thursday in a long time other than TNA.
No. Overall, though, this is awesome news for the industry. More jobs, more money. Um, you know, a lot of the biggest
Rising
talent,
tide raises all ships and all that stuff.
a
Yeah.
lot of the biggest talent that WWE has had in the past 15 years are from TNA. You look at some of the talent that are in the world champion there right now. Samoa Joe was one of TNA's biggest mainstays and some of the biggest programs they've ever had.
I would say that he would be a homegrown
Yeah.
guy, as you know.
So overall, this is awesome. Um, not too much really to rail on about. You got anything to add to that?
Nope. Cool stuff. Congratulations to TNA. Hope you guys are very successful. It's nice to see you kind of rise back up in a more favorable position on a network, maybe the most favorable position that they've ever had.
Yeah.
Before they were on Spike, I would argue that AMC is a much bigger deal than Spike. No offense to the fine folks at Spike, if that's still a
Spike was a
channel. I
big
don't
deal at
have
the
cable.
time. Spike was like, remember they had UFC on at the same time and all that. So like
That's true.
they were kind of blowing up, but timing wise, this could lead them to a lot of growth and success if treated correctly. And just having have you seen that they wanted to have AJ Styles on the first episode?
Yeah.
We'll see if that happens or not. But access to things like that and a build that it's like ties in with what's going on WWE programming would be a pretty big deal for them. And it's gonna lead to a lot of success. Put it that way. I can guarantee that.
Oh yeah, I agree. Well, we got one more thing not one more thing to talk about, but a new topic to talk about here. Um, CM Punk had posted on Instagram the other day that, the immortal, iconic Larry had passed away. And, that's very sad. We feel very, very bad for Punk and AJ. We've all lost pets, and you know how it is when you lose your good boy, so that's unfortunate. Much love to them in their time. I'm sure that they're bummed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had pets that have passed back in the day. I have 2 dogs now. Punk's never had any kids like me, so like his dog's kind of, I guess, the closest thing he has, and he's pretty serious about it. He would tell you, he's like, I don't have any children, so I treat my dog as such, and like he gets pissed if shit happens. And funny enough, Larry is one. Well, he's gone now, but you had Ace Steele's wife, who's one of the only people that's not under an NDA that could tell you what happened at Brawl Out. Or was that the yeah, it was Brawl Out, right? Where the
Yeah,
Bucks
I'm pretty sure.
there was the 2 fights that happened, so I'm not sure if I'm mixing them up. And then you had Larry the dog, who was also injured in the fight, but he was one of the people, and they didn't have him sign an NDA. So if Larry could have talked, he could have let us know everything that happened. So believe it or not, Larry is like tied into lore of one of the biggest kind of like modern scandals in wrestling history, right?
Yep.
So
And Kenny Omega, being the
saved
Chad that he is, when that happened, he made sure to scoop up Larry and get him on out of there, out of harm's way. Big shout out to Kenny. We know he likes animals too.
Yeah, it's a sad one. I'm going to be real sad when the 2, really all the pets I have right now, but mainly my 2 dogs, Michael and Rocky, pass. And you do
Yeah.
end up moving on, but pets are such a blessing that they couldn't last forever. Nothing that good lasts forever, right? So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that pets are only here to be with us for a short time, but it's a good time while you have it. And
Yep.
my dogs mean the world to me. I'm glad I have them, and I know that Punk feels the same way. And AJ's taking the rest of the year off because of this, and I don't blame her. She hasn't been showing up a lot, but I guess you have the ability to call your shot. She's definitely the most popular female wrestler they have right now, I believe. They need to strike.
Probably.
They need to strike while the iron's hot. So hopefully after into the build of the Royal Rumble, that will happen. But rest in peace, Larry.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I posted a picture of it in Discord the other day. I'm sure you saw it. My dog's name was Larry.
Was
He
it?
was a good boy. Yeah. So I always thought that was pretty funny that, Punk named his
Yeah.
dog Larry as well.
Yeah, we're in the same club of having dogs with first names that a human would have. But yeah, I don't have too much more to add. Rest in peace, Larry.
Yep. He a good boy.
Yep. You seen him
Well,
all
speaking of
over
good
the
boys,
pictures. Did you see the jacket he wore too on the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yeah.
Must have been going on
So
then too.
get out there and buy whatever Larry merch that's left. I don't know if there's any on the WWE shop or you know, what was the other thing that he always did? Not pro wrestling tees. He wouldn't be on there with
I can't remember.
well, yeah. Anyway,
I know something that
the stuff's out there somewhere. Oh, there is a Larry shirt though. A best in the world Larry shirt right now that's on sale on wweshop.com. All the sizes are in stock. It says almost gone. It's on sale for $19.99, free shipping.
That should go to
available.
a charity. The money from that.
Yeah.
Some kind of animal society or something like that.
This is actually a pretty cool shirt, man. I might get this. Let me link this to you real quick.
All right.
We're breaking it on down here on the show, folks. We're looking at Larry merch. Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. All they have left is 4XLs. I'm completely stupid.
Well, that's fine.
I would still get one. Yeah. Wear it as a
That's-
nightshirt or something.
Yeah, that's a badass shirt. I like it. They'll get more.
Yeah.
I can promise you. They will have more. But anyways, we'll go ahead and move on. Hopefully Larry's eating some good dog food up in the sky. But let's talk about what you got.
Nope, I thought I had something, but I don't. Ooh, Raven. That's really fucking cool. Hold on.
You see the Raven flock was all together the other day? They are fucking
Yeah, I
old.
did. Yeah, they're looking old. Look at this. I mean, obviously it's I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I was a big Raven guy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
It's got his tattoos and everything, man. He's got the ministry shirt too.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, man. This is really cool. What is this? Zombiesailor.com. Everybody.
Never heard of it.
Well, I was trying to find the CM Punk Larry action figure, and they were the ones that were selling it, but it sold out. It was the one that had the action figure of Punk, and then it was in its own package, and then it had a smaller package that was Larry in his own package. Pretty cool.
Well,
But yeah, this Raven figure, kind of cool. They're having a Cyber Monday sale. Oh, dude, I shouldn't have got on here during the show. They got some cool Macho Man, Legion of Doom, Army of Darkness. That movie kicks ass.
yeah, it's there's a lot of really cool wrestling stuff out there. I mean, some of the Cornette shit.
Yo,
He's stopping making his figures and all that. So it's
hold on. I got to send you this too. I'm sorry, everybody. The show has devolved into Dave and TJ internet shopping. This is really fucking
glow in
cool.
the dark. Larry
Uh,
benefits
yeah.
balls in Chicago. That's cool. So they're doing what I was just saying.
That is not sold out. So they have a radioactive glow in the dark Larry, and the proceeds benefit Paws Chicago. $14.99 here on zombiesailor.com. I'm gonna definitely I'm gonna order that. You know, I don't have a lot of things to display for everybody, so that's gonna be one of the ones that I'm gonna get here in honor of Larry.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
You gonna hang it on the wall?
I sure am. I'm gonna try to see if I can get like one of those little stupid plastic protector action figure thingamajigs.
Yeah. We need to get you a poster up there too.
Oh, I want
I know
to order
one you were
that Bret
talking about
Hart
earlier, but I'm
yeah,
saying like
yeah.
big old OverMark tapestry. Just take up the whole thing. No,
Yeah.
you don't have to do that.
We got to get you your OverMark stuff. Speaking of OverMark stuff, I know I've been bad updating the Instagram and things of that nature. It still exists though at OverMark ENT. We have a bunch of stickers. If you want a sticker, send me a message on Instagram with your name and address, and I will mail you a couple stickers. You don't have to give us any money or anything. Stamps are like 50 cents. I'm going to throw it in an envelope and mail them on out to you. It's not a big deal. But yeah, if you would like some stickers, you know, our boy Fresh, you know, or anybody else out there, we probably should just send Fresh a message and be like, yo, dog, I'm going to send you some stickers. I know that that's goofy, but we're poor. We don't get paid for this. So But yeah, you send you some stickers, dog. But yeah, anybody at OverMark ENT, I'll mail you some stickers out. TJ's gonna have some stickers here soon that I'm gonna be sending to him.
Right here on
Yeah,
the microphone.
yeah.
But yeah, so we got something else to talk about on these microphones too.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about how Tony Khan mentioned that he says AEW closed the gap in many meaningful metrics this year. What do you got to say about that?
I got news for you.
What do you think?
I'm not sure what metrics that is, and I don't want to shit on Tony because he's providing us a second avenue to have a wrestling company, and I know we're very critical of him, and we've been on vacation for a month, so
You're not shitting on the product. Just I'm not sure how they've closed the gap. In what way?
I can't see a way that they have closed the gap. It's
WWE cooled off.
I don't even. They definitely did. There was no you're gaining traction. It's that the other company was, like you said, cooled off. But
Still completely apart. Not the same.
they have cooled off as well.
Yeah.
It's not that we were seeing the reports that maybe Anna Jay maybe nearing the end of her time there. She may be going to the WWE. Who knows if that's real or not? But that would probably just be another person that they have let slip through their fingers that ends up going to WWE and doing well. I'm sure that they could get her trained up to the WWE style. She's good enough. She could be better. And I think they might be able to do that for her. Who knows?
The
Yeah.
in-ring style isn't as fast over there. I think it'd work pretty good for her. And apparently her and old Jungle Boy aren't together either. So that's not
Well,
gonna be
good.
bad.
You know what that means? I've got a
Yeah,
shot.
Yeah, you do.
Yo, Anna. I'm 43 years old and I look like this.
I just noticed something.
But yeah,
Sorry, keep
call me.
I just noticed something.
That's all. What's that?
We were talking about new stuff earlier. I didn't mention we're both got the same headphones on now. If you turn to the side, let me see your side there, Dave. Same ones. Look at that, guys. Boom, right there.
True professionals.
But anyways,
We got the same
microphone
windscreens too.
Yep.
Yep. It eliminates the plosives, as they say in the industry. The P sounds that get all distorted or whatever. Yeah.
But back on topic, I don't know. I feel like AEW probably had their best show of the year with Blood and Guts the other day, and it pulled a pretty decent rating for them. With the new panel plus the old method that they mix up, so they have the new method that they're doing, they were doing pretty bad at first. Although they weren't doing too great around that time on the old way anyways, but they had like 300 some K at one point, and then they are getting 400s. The past 2 weeks they've been around the low 500s, so they maybe rebounded a little bit compared to what they were doing, and maybe their fan base is a small amount of it sticking around, which is good. I hope nothing but the best for AEW, but I was taking a little bit of break of watching AEW, as you were when we weren't watching, and it was nice.
I didn't watch it the whole month of November. I didn't even try to, other than the pay-per-view, just to kind of see. And then obviously we watched the Blood and Guts, which was, like you said, was good. There was Sky Blue got fucked up in there. That was she bleeding a lot.
Yeah, and there's not really too much to talk about there. Just more like Tony's delusions. I mean, he's a what's he supposed to do? Talk bad about his company? Somebody asked him.
Oh, we're not doing good. Fuck, we suck. No, he's gonna go out there and tell you, oh yeah, I feel confident. We're putting, he's not gonna go out there and shit all over that. That would be counterintuitive. So of course he's gonna tell you that everything is good. Why would you say anything to the contrary? That'd be foolish.
Well, unless you got anything to add to that, I feel like this kind of transition, I'm going to skip one and we'll go back to it, but this ties us into what we're kind of talking about with AEW, and Netflix is going to be buying Warner Brothers Discovery. Well, kind of. We'll explain a little bit more further here, but we're going to talk about kind of what that means here for wrestling. So Netflix has officially bought the Warner Brothers studio, HBO Max, and their other premium studio division of Warner Brothers Discovery. The remaining cable networks, TBS, TNN, TNT, Discovery, they're all going to be spun off into their own separate company called Discovery Global. AEW currently airs on TBS and TNT, which kind of puts them on the Discovery Global side. So they're going to be a part of a different company that's not Warner Brother Discovery or Netflix. They're going to be kind of like a new deal over there, which I'm sure we'll have some of the same people, but who knows what that spells for AEW, right? You can't say what that means, and I can't say what that means.
I imagine most likely their TV deals stay in place. I mean, any contracts that they currently have probably stay in place, and they'll see through or get bought out.
Well, I actually had the definitions of this shit up here earlier. If you want me to, I can pull this up. So this might be a little bit easier. Just give me 1 second here. So they actually could have an out clause. An out clause is a provision in a contract that allows one or more parties to terminate the agreement under specific conditions without penalty. I'm sure they have one of those. And they could also have an exclusivity clause. Sorry about that. Which is a contractual provision that restricts one or both parties from entering into similar agreements with other entities for a specified period or scope. That second one really seems like the one that would be the obvious case, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty, that's a conflict of interest. There's a whole bunch of situations that go on there. But here's the one thing that a lot of people aren't talking about. Warner Bros. Discovery might have stake in AEW. Now, remember, according to the court documents that AEW had when they had to, disclose all their stuff with that whole Tate Brothers thing, nobody owns more than 12% of AEW that's a secondary shareholder. So that confirmed that there are other shareholders out there, or at least people, not shareholder, but people that have stake in the company.
Yeah.
I would go to believe that, say, Dave Meltzer's one of them. Maybe not, but I would definitely say that Warner Bros. Discovery is one of them. And if they didn't have one before, when they just did their most recent contract, that's how they got their stake in the company, I would believe. So Netflix may have a stake in this company. Would they have to sell that? Who knows?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Unknowns.
Very complicated. A lot of lawyers probably going to be getting a lot of money here, is what it sounded like.
The
In the
split.
meantime, I'm sure probably stay on TBS and TNT. If HBO Max is going to be owned by Netflix, I imagine in the interim the stuff will operate as as is.
Well,
And then at some point there'll be like a thing where they do that.
2026, near the end of it, third quarter, I believe, is when Discovery and Warner Brothers Discovery is going to split, where you're going to have the Discovery stuff go one way and HBO Max and all that stuff go the other way. So at that point, that would be, I believe, if the Netflix stuff is already figured out, then that's when the AEW stuff will stay on TNT and TBS. I don't think that's a question. That'll fulfill its contract. The only questions is about the streaming stuff. And this Netflix deal could take 3 years to go through. Some of the stuff takes a while, so their contract could be done.
They're going to be facing like antitrust stuff. People are going to be looking at them insofar as it's starting to get so big.
It's going to pass, from what I read, though.
Are we entering into like monopolistic areas and things of that? It's just random shit. People always kind of rake these things over the coals, and they're scrutinized very finely before especially when it's kind of a consolidation of two fairly big things, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. But from what I read, they look at it two different ways. Like, if it's gonna cause a monopoly, which it's not, because Amazon, Apple, Paramount, there's all those other options out there. And then, is it going to harm the industry? Well, actually, it might make stuff better, because it'll take another chunk and make it easier to watch, because it's all under another same umbrella. So for those two reasons, I think that'll be probably part of the big reason why it'll pass. But you're going to have to go to the courts anyways, and that takes years. And people definitely try to fight this regardless of if it's right or not. But yeah.
What always happens.
I think that's about all we know, and the only thing that we could speculate on, right? Because we don't really know anything, do we?
Nothing.
Well, speaking of not knowing nothing. I think this is going to be me talking a lot here, unless you got some questions for me at the end of this. But
Oh no, you're the R-Truth of this segment. You driving.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about some questionable matchmaking that we got going on here. So if you're watching MMA, which is going to be something we're going to be talking a little bit more about, how we were just talking about streaming. Well, UFC is going to be streaming exclusively other content on Paramount Plus. So we're going to be covering that a little bit more because we feel like it's going to be more easily accessible and there's no paywall besides like $7. So I mean, there's really no reason to no more pay-per-views where we're going there. But anyways,
it's an insane value.
Yeah.
And if you are on the fence about checking out combat sports or UFC or MMA or whatever you want to call it in your mind, there's never been a better time to casually stroll into watching it than now.
Yeah,
in terms of access,
it's I feel like it's more talent rich than ever, and maybe the stars aren't as big as they used to be, but they're in the period of building a lot of guys, so that's about to change a lot. But let's jump into what we're kind of talking about here. So they've been kind of doing some questionable matchmaking lately, which doesn't mean the fights are going to be bad, but it just might mean that the people who deserve it the most aren't the people that are getting the opportunities at these title shots. So Ilia Topuria, their 155, the lightweight champion, well, he was going to be at UFC 324, which was going to be the first pay-per-view of the year next year and the first under Paramount of any event that Paramount's going to do for him. So that's not going to be happening because he's going through a divorce and he has some stuff going on, child custody, blah, 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 blah. So the UFC created an interim lightweight title fight instead. And the two people participating in that fight, neither of them are going to be the number one contender, which is Arman. Oh, man. I'm going to say his name on Arman Tsarukian. He's 100% the lightweight contender. And he's not going to be, and he's not going to be in this fight. Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett are going to be in this fight. Justin Gaethje has like no win. I think maybe he's actually on a 1-fight win streak. And Paddy Pimblett was going to, I think, end up being the guy that was going to face Topuria if he was going to be in there. Who's the rightful champion. So we're getting an interim title fight. These interim fights always stink because it just muddies up the division. And I don't know. It just muddies the waters.
Was there like a reason or a speculated reason as to why they passed over the number one guy, or is this just like a head scratcher and it's just here's the fight and you never get to know why the other guy's not? Are they trying to save him for fighting the other guy or when he gets back? Or
the only thing that I can think, and that might be the case, but I think that they want Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett always have really good fights, and I think that and I think both of them are probably bigger stars than Arman, so they want a bigger fight, and they want it to be guaranteed entertaining. They're going to put those guys for the first card for Paramount and kind of show them like, hey, we got a really exciting fight, and it will be a good fight, but I'm not sure that Arman wouldn't be capable of putting on a really good fight against, or like entertaining. He's always pretty entertaining, but I think he kind of nailed it. Maybe they were just wanting to make sure that they get that fight, but then that wouldn't be the fight because the interim would be next up for the champion. So it's just like I said, they're muddying the waters.
Yeah, it's a very confusing thing. I would assume that Arman fights the winner of this fight, and then they do like whoever wins that fight, a unification fight when the other dude comes back.
Hopefully, we'll
see. If he
see.
comes back in time, who knows?
There's no timetable, at least if they know, we don't. But that's not the only fight that's kind of had this going on. So for the pay-per-view after that, UFC 325, Alexander Volkanovski, the 145 champion, is going to be fighting Diego Lopez again. Well, that was the last person that he fought. So he's going to be fighting Diego Lopez back-to-back. Diego Lopez has had one fight since then, and it wasn't like it was against like a number one contender. I think it was like a guy that was like ranked 9th or something. It was an insanely entertaining fight. I enjoyed it a lot. It was one of the best like 2-round fights that I've ever seen. but there's better, fresher contenders in that division that could be more interesting because you've never seen it before. That being Leroy Murphy and Mazvar Evelev. I'm probably saying his last name wrong. Both Murphy and Evelev are active, ranked, and they never fought him before. And like I said, it would just make for fresher matchups. And, I'm not the only person criticizing this. Fans are criticizing it. I'm sure you've seen this pop up in the news here and there, Dave. It's just kind of disappointing. I'm always more of a merit guy. I don't give a fuck how entertaining the fight is. To me, sometimes the boring fights are entertaining to me because I've been watching this shit so long. I'm capable of kind of appreciating the smaller aspects.
So, like, are there any people that casual fans should be watching out for insofar as fighters? Who are these guys? Or it's like, if you're going to tune in, make sure you're not going to the bathroom during this fight.
I mean, are you talking about at either one of these pay-per-views or just in general?
Just more in general.
I mean, this Justin Gaethje fight will be great, but you're talking about people that the people might not know, or something like that.
Like, who's a good let's contain it to just these two cards. Who's somebody that's fighting on these two cards that folks might not know about, that it's like that could be an entertaining fight.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up real
Sorry
quick.
to answer you.
No, this is good. This is how we do it here. So I don't know if you can hear my dog. He's barking down there. But so we got Sean O'Malley versus a guy named Song Yadong. Literally, that's his name. So that Song Yadong guy, most of the time, Asians don't do too well in the UFC, the wrestling, all that. This guy has the wrestling. He's being trained by Uriah Faber. He's like a pretty legit guy. He's got the takedowns. He can really do it all. He opened as a pretty sizable favorite against O'Malley, who's a former champion. The odds have shifted because of people putting a lot of money on O'Malley, but that leads you to believe that the odds makers might know something that we don't. And that guy that I was talking about, and that in UFC 325, that Diego Lopez ended up beating in between his last fight with Volkanovski, John Silva. He's going to be fighting in this card. Super entertaining guy. I'm sure if you've been watching hardcore, you've seen him, but he's never had a bad fight. I don't think he's ever had a fight go the distance. But there's this one guy. He's from Cameroon. His name's Atiba Gutiar. This is on 324. He's like a knockout machine. It's almost going to be guaranteed be a knockout.
All right.
And then you got on 324 Umar's cousin, Umar Nurmagomedov. You hear that last name, then you kind of know what the deal is. But
yeah, he's gonna ragdoll and beat the shit out of whoever he's fighting. Probably that should be exciting.
Yeah, and we'll wrap this up. So 325 only has one card fight on it so far, so we can't really talk about that too much. But we're gonna be highlighting this. Dave used to watch this some back in the day. I'm a pretty avid guy. I'm betting on the fights here and there. I'm watching
watched the early ones in the 90s. Like, I remember my parents, it used to be a big event. We probably watched like the first 5 or 6, I don't know. And then obviously watched it through the early 2000s into like a little bit of the 2010s. Probably till about the end of Anderson Silva and JDS, when the dudes from that era, Kane, Brock.
A great time to watch MMA.
Yeah. The end of Anderson was kind of the end of me watching it.
Chris Weidman.
I won't say religiously, but quite a lot. Yeah. It was just not. It was a bad time for me.
Well, I don't blame you. A lot of people jumped out then. It's tough when the MMA doesn't have any of those guys left. They're all gone from back in the day, like Pride and UFC around like 2009, 10. Or 7.
Love Nick Diaz. I mean, I know he's had
terrible.
some.
Or wait, no.
But
I think the last time we looked up, he was actually doing a little bit better.
Hopefully.
We're gonna.
And then Nate's gonna be boxing again, isn't he? Or is that not happening?
Something was going on. He was going to end up being the stand-in for Tank Davis for Jake Paul, but they ended up taking Josh. What's his name?
Alexander.
I don't know, but he's gonna fuck him up, man. We're
Yeah,
gonna cover that too.
yeah. Did you see the face off?
Yeah, I mean he's Anthony Joshua. He's one of the best
Anthony
heavyweights in the
Joshua.
world. He's huge.
He was significantly bigger than Paul, and you could tell Paul he looked a little nervous. He might not have been, but I mean, how could you not be? Yeah, I mean he's fighting. That dude's been in the ring with actual champions as a former champion himself, like not cream puff champions of boxing organizations that you've never heard of, like legitimate world champions.
Yeah, Ngannou, that's the guy that slept him. The MMA champ.
Yep.
He was a heavyweight champ in the UFC, and then he did the boxing things, and he lost to who was that one guy? He's all herky jerky. He was like the big heavyweight guy for a while. Tyson Fury.
Fury.
Yeah, Ngannou went against Tyson Fury. He didn't almost beat him, but he did pretty good. And then they put him against Joshua, and Joshua slept him really quick. But we'll cover that. This is something we'll talk about. Falls under combat sports, so falls under the umbrella of it's in a ring. We'll talk about it, essentially.
I mean, it's our show. We'll talk about it anyway,
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just letting people know to expect some of the shit we're going to be talking about. But yeah, we appreciate you listening to our little rant. Like I was saying, Dave's going to be learning a little bit more about some of these guys, and they have I think 1,400 people signed to the roster. So I'm still learning people. They have so many people.
I mean, that's a bit much. Holy shit.
Trust me.
But yeah, I mean,
it's not nearly as much as the people that are at the top are there for a while. It's the bottom interchangeable shit that you're not going to pay as much attention to. But I like watching them fight as well.
I'm sure there were fights after, but the last fight that I was really stoked for was Nate and Connor. When Nate choked him out, I loved that so much.
Yeah, that was an awesome fight. Like there's times like where if I wanted to get all inspired and hyped up, I'd watch that. Because it was he's an underdog, going against this big rising guy, and he just fucking nobody gave him a chance. He took the fight on 5 days' notice. He fucking choked him out second round. Connor was beating him up a little bit within the first 4 minutes of the fight, but like the last minute, he started catching him, and then they went into the next round, and he just.
I mean, that's kind of what both Diaz brothers do, though. Like that first round is a lot of finding their range and learning the guys' patterns and figuring out their counters, because they're strikers, so figuring out their counter strikes and shit like that.
Nate was a little bit more slow in plotting, where Nick was more technical and quicker, I believe.
I loved watching Nick. I think we've probably mentioned it on here before, but man, that Nick Diaz Paul Daly fight in Strikeforce, holy shit, man! That one of the most exciting fights I've ever watched in my life.
Maybe we'll do a watch along, react to that.
We should, man. They're throwing fucking bombs, dude. Just down to one knee, boom, up, down. The other guy's down to one knee, boom, just fucking haymakers.
John McCarthy, the ref stands in, stops it, and then Daly tries to be like, "What the?" And then he's like, "Oh fuck, it didn't work out for me." But
Nick was a legit bad. Like he's still a badass, of course. But I mean, man, what a fucking time in MMA, Oof.
Yeah, the Diaz brothers were always guaranteed good fights, except that one time Nick went against Carlos Condit. But that's a conversation for another day.
Don't get me started on that. That was that
was bullshit. I still actually think he won, man. But that was a good touch.
Thank you. I was ready for it. I knew it was coming. I just the running away the whole time and the leg kick shit. It's a tactic, and it obviously was effective, but
he wasn't doing any damage with it, though. He was doing a little bit with
Carlos
his punches later on.
I'm not a super Condit fan or anything, I'm not like going to be able to tell you his whole fucking fight history, but I remember watching dude fight, quite a bit more aggressive in the fight. But I guess
that's the only boring fight I've ever seen him in.
I guess you don't really want to try to get in there and fight aggressive and try to outlast a Diaz in a
so that
throwing hands match.
That pissed Dana White off. He was like sitting there talking about it, and he was like, his fucking coaches told him to fight like that, and blah 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 blah. They didn't want to engage him no matter what. Sometimes Dana will do that.
Yeah, he threw him right under the bus. It was great.
Yeah, me and my buddy Eric were watching that together, and we were fucking pissed because he was a huge TS fan too. How couldn't you be? You know.
One of the most entertaining guys of the era. You know, you never knew what he was going to say or do. Fuck. They might throw Monster Energy cans at press conferences. They might.
They will
They might roll up and
fight in the
their
Strike Force ring.
team might fight your team, like just wherever.
They will.
True.
It's not a might.
Truly gangster. You know, back then. Not that that's necessarily something that's a great role model or something that should aspire to be, but was definitely really fucking badass and entertaining.
Yeah, it was. And let's maybe we'll do that here, and then we'll do like a Diaz Brothers retrospective, and like go watch like a fighter of theirs. Like it doesn't have to be just them. Maybe we'll just watch an old fight in there.
Pick like a exciting. Well, we'll watch the Nick and Daly fight, and then we'll pick like a Nate fight. He's got plenty of exciting fights.
But all right. Speaking of that, we're gonna move on. And why don't you take us into this, Dave?
Well, we got a new segment that isn't very populated this episode, but it's called Channel 3. And for those of you that are over the age of probably 30 or 35, first of all, your back hurts a little bit while you're listening to this. But second of all, you're aware that Channel 3 was the channel you used to have to turn your televisions to be able to play your video games on your television.
Analog,
so, because we're cool, old school type of guys, we thought Channel 3 would be a good name for the segment. So, not a lot to talk about here. I'm still playing Ascension WoW. We're recruiting. They merged our servers, Malfurion and Bronzebeard, so it's all one big. There's a lot going on there, and some of it's not good, but some of it is cool. And Molten Core is going to be coming out on the 13th, so that's going to be interesting. I am now the guild's main tank, which I didn't plan on. That's how it was going to go, but that's how it's going to be, because then you don't have to rely on other people to do it. And it's an important role that you need dependable people to fill. And I'm never going to not be there. So boom, easy choice. We'll see how that goes though. We've been having some of our, this is casual what we've been doing. So, some of our homies are coming in and out, not necessarily able to always come or want to always come, whatever the case may be. So we might be looking for some more people. If you're out there playing it, hit me up. Also, I had bought Final Fantasy Tactics back in September, or prior to September, because I pre-bought it, but it came out in September, the remaster of that. I still hadn't played it, but I've been considering firing that up. I really enjoyed that. That was one of my favorite games on the original PlayStation, and anybody that played it back in the day, for the most part, they really liked it, or they really didn't like it because of the way that the battle system was. I kind of enjoyed it quite a bit. And the more that I talk about it, the more I'm actually looking forward to playing it. Maybe I'll fire it up this weekend after I've done all the goofy desk shit. I don't know. What's going on with you right now, game-wise, TJ?
Not much, man. I've just been so tired when I get off work. It's terrible, but, I still play Heroes at least a couple times a day, get some games in.
That's cool.
I was playing The Sims 3 last week a lot. It's fun, I always end up doing like similar career paths. It's a really fun game. During the Black Friday sale, I was going to get the Sims Legacy Collection, which is like the Sims 1, but maybe another time. I feel like The Sims 3 is probably like a better game in every way, so I would just get bored going back doing the old shit. Yeah, I was doing a lot of emulators in the break, though, during like the past month. I was doing the Xbox emulator, which runs really fucking well, with the graphics card and PC that I have and everything. It runs everything at 4K and without a hitch. I was playing Jet Set Radio Future. I've been playing a lot of the Tony Hawk games. So there's this one game that's exclusive to the original Xbox, and it's Tony Hawk's 2X. and it's basically Tony Hawk 2 with a little bit of upgrades to it and more content. It's got like Spider-Man. You end up being able to unlock all the levels from Tony Hawk 1 in it. And it looks actually pretty good up-resed at 4K. I beat Tony Hawk 3. I'm in the process of Tony Hawk 4. I almost beat Tony Hawk's Underground. So yeah, I've just been playing a lot of stuff from back in the day. I used to like love emulators, but I fell out of wanting to play them because they weren't making progress for the longest time. Well, they've made a lot of progress, and I have the hardware to do it. So, what better time to do it than now? But yeah, that's generally, what I've been up to. Nothing too crazy. I still always feel the urge to want to play WoW, but it's not playing WoW, it's me missing playing with everyone. And I just don't want to play Ascension. I want to play an official version of WoW. So I don't know when and where that will ever be, but
I understand that. I was very adverse for a long time to playing on the private servers and things of that nature, and this one just ended up sounding fun. So
Yeah.
that was just what ended up happening, and I'm having fun with it. I'm also having fun looking at this zombiesailor.com.
I got that nightclub
cool
simulator
stuff.
game, and it's like a MetaQuest VR, and I was just playing it, and like I was just like stabbing people and like punching them in the fucking head and shit yesterday. Like the security guard would come up to me and just ran a sword through like his chest, and he's still living. I gotta stab him a couple more times and grab the axe and just like whack somebody in the head. It's funny.
That is pretty funny.
I don't know if you're supposed to do other stuff in that game, but I was just killing everybody. It was pretty good. I'm gonna get some other ones of them too. You can apparently talk to the people and threaten them and piss them off. So I'll mess with some more of that later. But yeah, I'm not sure. I there's so many games out there, and I have the ADHD, and I have a hard time picking the stuff I want to play. So I just fuck around and play Heroes a lot. But I really want to get into like an older RPG and play that. I thought about it being Final Fantasy VII, but if I really want to do everything in that game, like it's literally like thousands of hours of fucking grinding and shit, isn't it?
No,
Not the new one, the old one.
Oh, well, I mean, not thousands.
It's a lot. I was thinking about maybe 6 as well. 6 was a really good game.
Yeah. That would be 3 to folks that would have only played the American timeline version of it. That's one of the greatest Final Fantasies of all time. They did do the Pixel remaster. They have that on Steam. I think it's on sale right now. And then they also did like a 3D remake, which I think is not necessarily viewed as highly, but it does exist.
Yeah.
And it's got mixed reviews, we'll say, from what I have read. I haven't played it. I haven't bought it. It's on the wish list, though. At some point, I have a habit of buying games and then not playing them.
Modern gaming stinks.
I'm playing. Yeah.
There's nothing
so,
going on.
it's like just like what we're talking about. It's like, oh, well, I'm about to replay Final Fantasy Tactics, which is a almost 30-year-old game at this point. I think it came out in like 97.
Yeah. I don't know. I need to get that at some point. I just don't like paying max price for all these games these days because just
I don't either.
End up being a lot, but I don't know.
If it only because it was that game.
Yeah.
If it was anything else, like I didn't buy any of the other Final Fantasies. I have 7, and then obviously I have the remakes of 7. Man, those remakes are so good. That might be something I revisit soon too. I put a lot of hours into them fast. I got almost 200 hours on Rebirth, and then I have almost 100 hours on the remake, the first one.
I was playing Legend of Legaia on my Vita, but the emulator that runs on the Vita for the PSP games, which runs PS1, ends up bugging out at a certain point in the game. So I need to take that save, put it on PC, get past the place that it bugs out on, put that save back on the Vita, and then I'll be able to keep going. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I had more get up and go when I got off work, but it's just so tough sometimes. It's just fucking tired. That was at least the cool thing about WoW is like you could mindlessly grind while listening to music and shit. Some of these other games are not as good, just grinding and mindlessly doing it.
Yeah, it's just something special about WoW. And like you were talking about, you know, the thing that you miss is the time with the homies, and
Yeah.
like it's associated with that version of the game. Hopefully we can get that back, but it's just, you know, probably not. You know, you got to think we had COVID, and then, you know, we had quite a few year run. You know, I think we had only stopped raiding like what, a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, it has been a while already. Yeah, it had been a year in November, I think, give or take. We might have stopped in October of 24, somewhere in that neighborhood.
I don't know. It's been a nice break.
Cataclysm stunk. Yeah, I did level for Mop Classic, but I mean, I quit relatively quickly.
Mop's fun, but I don't know. Just raiding's just such a chore. Just the logistics of it, and then everybody always wants us to do it. They don't want to join another guild. So it's always more work for everybody involved. But that's another conversation for another time, I guess.
Yeah,
we have a lot of those. But
that's funny. We've Brandon and I have talked, or we've, you know, a bunch of us have talked about that, and then, you know, Brandon and I always joke that we couldn't let other people be in control. We're like control freaks or something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It definitely does make the game somewhat more enjoyable, but tough at the same time. Yeah, but I guess that's our Channel 3 discussion for this one, right?
Yep. And circling back real quick, don't forget to go to the Zombie Sailor Toys and get your Radioactive Larry. I just ordered mine. It was $22.53. That is after shipping and all that jazz. It's $7.54 for shipping on mine. Maybe we'll have TJ throw the link in the description for the video this week, you know, so we can sell the last of the Radioactive Larrys out for them, and maybe tell them that Dave and TJ from the Overmark Entertainment podcast sent you, and maybe they'll sponsor us.
Yeah, brother. You could do that.
But more importantly than that, you'll support Larry and Punk and Pause. Yeah.
Which I'm sure is a good organization.
It actually
CM
is.
Punk wouldn't have anything to do with that if it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's Chicago-based.
I'm pretty hyped for this, actually. You know, I don't really order action figures and things of that nature very often at all, really. They're usually given to me as like a gift. And, you know, by the time that you get it, you know, the box might be a little fucked up or whatever. You know, this is actually my first one that, like, I've gotten in a very long time that I'll be able to just be like, yep, cool, new one. I've got my Undertaker over here real quick. I'll show ya. We're getting off topic here, folks. We've been gone for a while. We got a lot of things to discuss. Got this Elite Collection Undertaker.
Oh, cool. Looking ready to go all Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, you got the different hands in there.
Yes, MMA gloves.
Oh yeah, he's gonna beat some dudes up.
Yeah,
you know, I like how it's like 90s kind of pre Ministry of Darkness Undertaker for the picture there.
Yeah, is the Hamburglar hat.
Yeah. It looks less flattering in the box than what it actually is.
Yeah, it's the Undertaker. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool one.
This is actually a pretty cool series. They got Brother Love, D'Lo, and the Human Fighting Machine, Kama Mustafa. So I mean, that's good company.
Yeah.
I wonder if D'Lo's figure has the head moving.
I wonder if he has
that was always cool.
Nerve damage in his neck from that.
Nah.
Yeah, all them steroids. He was actually. I don't know if he was. He wasn't in the best shape. You looking at the real deal now.
He was a little doughy, but man, D'Lo was cool.
Yeah, I liked him. His European Championship title run.
Man, when he had the chest plate thing.
Yeah, he was a pretty entertaining guy. I just remember his his head thing a lot. But yeah,
I remember when The Rock first started getting over, D-Lo, know your role and shut your mouth.
yeah. Call him a Rudy Poo a couple times, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Hell yeah.
think we can wrap this one up? Put a
We
bow
sure
on it?
can. We sorry for getting off on tangents and stuff like that. We're trying a less structured show. We're moving away from anything remotely scripted or it's all bullet points. We didn't want it to be rigid. We wanted to come back and it to feel like, it's your boys talking with you, not reading stuff to you. Nobody really wants to hear that, I don't think. And it gives you a little bit more real Dave and TJ instead of us trying to be rigid.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it.
We're good. We're just giving our take on stuff and not necessarily news updates. I mean, we'll update you. We're gonna do whatever the fuck we want, pretty much. So
Yeah, I mean, if there's newsworthy stuff, we'll talk about it. Like Bret Hart saying that Vince and Shawn were gay. That's incredible. How could we not talk about that?
Yeah, and we'll talk about it maybe we'll talk about it next episode too.
I mean, we might not have anything else to talk about. Who knows what's going on in wrestling? We might have to talk about it again. Maybe there'll be some new developments in it that it comes out that they were in fact together.
I hope not. I don't want anything to do with that. But we'll talk about it if it does. And talking about something else that does, maybe you guys does drop a comment, does like the thing, and does subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Like
that does really good for the channel.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, we're back. We're here. We're gonna have the OverMark podcast for the millions and millions of Overmaniacs out there.
Don't forget,
stickers.
I got, I think, around 50 of them here in this pack. Once they're gone forever. It's like a plastic vinyl type of sticker. It's not like a paper. It's little better quality than what I had expected. So that's cool.
You can tell by looking
hit me up. The same thing that we use here on our wonderful OverMark mic flat. Yep.
But yeah, brothers. Sorry.
Be like us. No, you're good.
but here's what I was gonna say. I appreciate you, Dave. Appreciate the people for listening. Appreciate the Hogan in the sky. Or wherever he's at. We still appreciate you, brother. But I'm gonna wrap it up, toss it to Dave, and we're gonna get out of here.
Much love, TJ. We forgot to say hopefully everybody had a happy Thanksgiving, but hopefully everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. And we will see you guys next week. We're not debating you and see you next month type of thing. We'll see you next week for sure.
Oh, I can't finish off yawning. Sorry about that.
And ZombieSailorToys.com. Radioactive Larry.
Get him. Have a good one, guys.